Welcome into our Locked On NBA Insider Report for the NBA Draft Lottery. Ed Oliver from Locked On Wizards joining us right now. Obviously, Washington ended up at 10, which is where they were expected to be. Didn't get any of those sexy higher picks or lower picks, I should say, that they might have wanted. But what are the hopes that the team could add at this point in the draft?
We need a point guard very badly. We need athleticism. We were one of the worst teams in 3-point shooting percentage, so we need shooters to space the floor.
Mhm.
And we have a big decision with Bradley Beal. So how are we going to build around him? Are we going to trade it for a veteran, maybe a point guard, maybe a guy like a Malcolm Brogdon? Maybe we could use the pick to trade or possibly trade up if Jaden Ivey somehow falls out of the top four. So
Mhm.
those are some of the options for the Wizards.
When it's a draft that's kind of, not a consensus number one pick, right? Like people are going different ways depending on which teams, get what picks. Is there someone that, obviously you mentioned Jaden Ivey, but like someone you would want to see drop down possibly to try to make a run at that would be a good role player on your team?
Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona. He's super athletic. He can shoot the three. Like I said
Hmm.
before, we need athleticism. We need 3-point
Hmm.
shooting. We need more ball handlers as well. He checks all those boxes, so we really could use a guy that can come in and provide a spark. You see the dunk that he had against TCU in the second round. We just need a spark plug. We need talent, and he would raise the talent bar. And I think he would fit next to Bradley Beal and fit next to Kristaps Porzingis as well.
So now that you are kind of set where you ended up being, is it really where it's something like the team has to make a decision, obviously, what they're going to do future going forward, who they're going to build around, and what they're going to do? But obviously, when it comes to picking some of these college guys and you just want that energy, kind of athleticism out there, I know you mentioned a couple of names, but anybody that, whether or not they have Bradley Beal, that you'd be like, this would be someone you want on your team for a while?
Mm. Yeah, at the point guard, Ty Washington out of Kentucky, he's somebody to take a look at. Jeremy Sohan, there's Dyson Daniels out of the G League. I'm
Mhm.
not too high on him, but there's a sleeper guy, Malachi Branham out of Ohio State. I think he can really play. He can shoot. He went to the same high school as LeBron James, St. Vincent St. Mary's out of Ohio. It doesn't mean anything, but just the
Right.
pedigree there. But the young guy can play out of Ohio State, so that's somebody a sleeper pick at pick 10. Tari Eason out of LSU, that's somebody to look at as well. I already said Jeremy and Ochai Agbaji from Kansas. He's a senior. He's a older guy. I know people they stick their nose up at older guys now. They want the younger guys. They want the freshmen coming out
Right.
of college. But the guy Ochai Agbaji out of Kansas, he can really shoot. He's super athletic. He's a lob threat as well. And I think he would bring some maturity to the team as well and some leadership qualities. We had some chemistry issues
Hmm.
with the Wizards earlier in the season towards the trade deadline. And I think he as a rookie, I think he could come in and help out with some leadership. And he just won the NCAA championship as well, so he could bring that to the table as well.
Is there any worst case scenario for you guys? Is it just hoping they make some sort of athletic pick and don't trade away like for
Yeah,
nothing?
right. We need shooters. We drafted the same type of guy. We drafted Denny Avdia. We drafted Troy Brown Jr. We got Rui, who's different. We got Corey Kispert, who's a shooter. But we've even back to Otto Porter Jr. We've just drafted so many small forwards. We haven't drafted a point guard. We haven't drafted a big man. I do kind of want to see them switch it up and get a shooter, Jaden Hardy
Mhm.
out of the G League too, who's just a microwave scorer. So I would love to see the Wizards switch it up instead of getting a small forward, like I said before, Otto Porter, Troy Brown Jr., Denny Avdia, Kelly Oubre Jr. We just keep drafting. It's like a rinse, repeat type of thing.
Yeah.
And our owner said we will never ever tank, so we keep getting that ninth, 10th pick. We're just stuck in the same place we are. We're just in that
Right.
quicksand
Yep.
of treadmill type of situation.
All right. Well, we'll hope for the best, and maybe they'll surprise you this time around, so we aren't having this exact same conversation next year.
Right.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On NBA Insider Report.